What if everything you think about your failures is a lie? What if what you've been calling bad luck your whole life is nothing more than a signal, a warning that you've been using your own mind against yourself? Look around you. There are people walking through life shattered on the inside, heads down, spirits folded, surrendering without even fighting. And then there are others, people who, even in the middle of chaos, somehow smile. People who rise even when their soul is bleeding. People who walk with a light that storms cannot extinguish. What separates them? It's not talent. It's not money. It's not education. It's one thing. One force Napoleon Hill called the most powerful spiritual weapon ever given to man. A positive mental attitude. But don't misunderstand this. This is not about pretending everything is fine. It's not about forcing a smile while your world falls apart. This is something deeper, something older, something sacred. A positive mental attitude is a spiritual force. It is an invisible shield that protects you when everything around you collapses. It is the daily decision to be stronger than your circumstances. It is the declaration that says, "The world doesn't get to decide who I am. I do." And what you're about to discover in this message is the same key that the greatest men in history used to leave their mark on humanity. From this moment on, you enter a new mental dimension, a territory where the fragile abandon their dreams and the unbreakable are forged. Welcome to the inner chamber of transformation. Welcome to the place where indestructible minds are shaped. Welcome to the energy of Napoleon inspires. Most people underestimate the invisible power that rules their entire life. It isn't the government. It isn't the economy. It isn't their upbringing, their past, or even their circumstances. It's their attitude. Your attitude is not a reaction. It is a creation. It is the lens through which you interpret life. It is the energy with which you respond to pain, failure, and uncertainty. And understand this clearly. We're not talking about surface-level optimism, not the think positive nonsense people post on social media. This is spiritual alignment, a posture of the soul so solid that fear cannot penetrate it. Napoleon Hill spent 25 years studying the greatest minds of his era. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, titans who reshaped the world. And he discovered something shocking, something almost no one talks about. Every single one of them possessed an unbreakable positive mental attitude, not because life blessed them, but because they decided what attitude they would take toward life. And here's where most people fail. They wait to feel good before they act. They wait to succeed before they think like a winner. But the giants, the ones who change history, do the opposite. They think like winners first, and that's why they win. A positive mental attitude does not guarantee that life will be easy, but it guarantees that you'll be stronger than anything life throws at you. Here in the Napoleon Inspires mindset, we say it clearly. Your mind is the workshop where your destiny is built, and every thought, every emotion, every word is a tool. You either use it to build your greatness, or you use it, without realizing it, to destroy yourself. The good news is simple. You choose. Your attitude is the one thing no one can control except you. And if you decide to protect it, nurture it, and direct it, there is no force on earth that can stop you. Your mind is never silent. Even when you think it is, it's choosing sides. It's deciding whether it will build or destroy. And here's the truth most people don't want to face. Your mind is never neutral. If you don't deliberately lead it, something else will. If you don't feed it with purpose, it will feed on fear. If you don't fill it with powerful thoughts, the world will fill it with doubt, noise, and mediocrity. Every single day, thousands of messages enter your mind, through your eyes, your ears, your conversations. And every one of those messages programs something inside you. The problem is that most people never notice this happening. Napoleon Hill discovered this while fighting his greatest battle, the invisible enemy, the one with no face, but with your exact voice, the one that tells you you're not enough, that it's too late, that you're not made for greatness. And Hill confronted this enemy with a truth that cannot be ignored. If you don't govern your mind will govern you. And when he said, your mind will govern you, he didn't mean some demon with horns. He meant fear. He meant doubt. He meant resignation. The silent assassins of dreams. This is why here, in Napoleon Inspires, we teach one principle that cannot be negotiated. Either you dominate your mind, or your mind will dominate you. There is no middle ground. And the fact that you're here, listening now, means something inside you is waking up. Keep going, because what comes next will give you back a power that most people have forgotten they still possess. You cannot build a strong mind if you don't know why you're here. A ship without a destination becomes a slave of the wind, and a mind without purpose becomes a slave of fear. There's a reason so many people break, so many surrender, so many collapse when life shakes them. They have no reason that holds them upright. No root, no fire, no anchor in the storm. Napoleon Hill called this principle definiteness of purpose. A purpose so clear, so burning, so non-negotiable that even failure bows before it. A purpose that becomes your compass, your armor, your reason for breathing. A man without purpose drifts, and a drifting man inevitably falls into the hands of the invisible enemy. The enemy of doubt, of comparison, of mediocrity. He becomes vulnerable to the noise of the world, to the opinions of others, to the storms inside him. But a man with purpose walks as if the entire universe is conspiring in his favor. Not because he's stronger than everyone else, but because he already decided he will not break. In the Napoleon Inspires code, we repeat this until it burns into your soul. Your purpose is not a pretty sentence you post for likes. It's a mental shield. It's the energy that lifts you when your legs fail. It's the sword that cuts through confusion and darkness. It's the voice inside you whispering, "Don't stop. You were born for this." You want a positive mind? Then aim that mind at something so big it scares you to ignore it. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for others to believe in you. Don't wait to have it all figured out. Decide today what life would make every second worthwhile. And when you have that vision, tattoo it on your mind. Write it. Repeat it. Visualize it. Breathe it. Make it so real that your mind refuses to see another option. This is the fuel of the indestructible. This is what separates the common from the conquerors of destiny. Most people repeat phrases every day without understanding the damage they're causing with their own words. They say, "I can't. This always happens to me. I'm not like the others." And they say it with such conviction that their subconscious accepts it as an order. Napoleon Hill discovered one of the most powerful laws of the mind. Everything you repeat with emotion, your subconscious accepts as truth, even if it's a lie. That is autosuggestion, and it can be your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. It doesn't matter how many books you read or how many videos you watch. If your internal dialogue remains toxic, you will sabotage your life from the inside out. That is why, here in Napoleon Inspires, we teach you to speak to yourself with power, not as cheap motivation, but as a spiritual and scientific tool to reprogram your destiny. Talk to yourself with faith, with intention, with fire. When you wake up in the morning, instead of saying, "Another day," say, "Today I move closer to my purpose. I have the strength I need. What I'm looking for is already looking for me." At first, you won't feel it, but it doesn't matter. Your subconscious doesn't respond to how you feel. It responds to what you repeat with emotion. Autosuggestion is the bridge between thought and belief and reality. If you don't use it consciously, life will use it for you, and it will fill you with beliefs you never chose. But today you have a chance, a rare, sacred chance, to re-educate your mind, to speak to yourself like the leader you were created to be. You don't need to feel powerful. You just need to speak as if you already were, until you are. You can have massive goals, powerful affirmations, and a strong vision. But without discipline, all of it evaporates. Discipline is what turns intention into transformation. And I'm not talking only about waking up early or checking tasks off a list. Discipline is mastering your mind when no one is watching. Choosing what is right when quitting is easier. Moving forward, even when your body screams it can't take one more step. Napoleon Hill said, A man who cannot control himself is a slave in a world designed for kings. And it's true, because without discipline, you become a slave to your impulses, your moods, your excuses. A positive mind isn't born in comfort. It is forged in repetition, in the choice to sacrifice what is easy for what is meaningful. It is built in the moments when you choose learning over complaining, progress over procrastination, creating over consuming. Here, in the Napoleon Inspires Code, we call this the invisible training, the training no one sees, but the one that shapes your character. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, your mind becomes stronger. Every time you choose truth over comfort, your spirit expands. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, doing what you said you would do, even when you no longer feel like doing it. Because this is where dreamers separate from achievers, where those who wish are left behind by those who transform. A positive mental attitude is not a gift. It is a daily practice. And discipline is the fire that keeps it alive. Most people think success is built by avoiding pain. But the invincible think differently. They know pain is not the enemy. Pain is the teacher. That every adversity carries a message. That every fall, if read correctly, becomes a step upward. Napoleon Hill said it clearly. Every adversity carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But that seed will not grow on its own. You must choose what to do with it. Will it bury you, or will you turn it into sacred fire? Here in Napoleon Inspires, we call this the art of transmuting pain into power. It's not magic. It's awareness. It's mastery. The storm that came to break you can be the same storm that shows you who you really are. The betrayal that shattered you can awaken your vision. The loss that wounded you can reconnect your soul to your purpose. What decides your transformation is not what happened, but the question you ask when it happens. Why is this happening to me? Or, what is this trying to teach me? The one who asks the second question grows, because adversity isn't defeated with brute force. It's defeated with interpretation, with the power to see the good before the good appears. And that power doesn't belong to the ones who run away from pain. It belongs to those who walk through it with their eyes wide open. You could be one of them. Don't run from the storm. Use it. If you want to change your life, start by looking at the people you share it with. Because your environment doesn't just accompany you, it programs you. The words you hear every day, the conversations you allow, the places where you spend your time, all of it enters through your senses and ends up shaping your mind. Napoleon Hill discovered this while observing the greats. None of them surrounded themselves with negative people, not because they thought they were better, but because they were protecting their minds. Trying to maintain a positive attitude in a toxic environment is like trying to keep a candle lit in the middle of a storm. This is why, in the Napoleon Inspires Code, we say it without hesitation. Your environment can be your launch pad or your prison. Ask yourself, who surrounds you? Do they lift you up, or do they drain you? Do they inspire you to move, or convince you to stay where you are? Do they speak the language of faith or the language of fear? You decide who gets access to your energy. You decide which voices echo inside your mind. And this isn't about hating anyone. It's about loving your purpose so much that you refuse to let anyone contaminate it. Seek environments that elevate you. Surround yourself with people who speak of dreams, growth, discipline, and destiny. Consume content that challenges you, expands you, wakes you up. Your mind is fertile ground, but if you surround it with poisonous seeds, don't expect a powerful harvest. You are not created to crawl in the shadows of mediocrity. You were created to shine, and for that, you need light around you. Remember this. What enters through your ears eventually enters your soul. Choose wisely. Most people wait until they feel ready to move. But true leaders don't wait. They act as if failure doesn't exist. Not because they're blind to risk, but because they've understood a deeper truth. The fear of failure paralyzes more people than failure itself. Napoleon Hill taught this as a law of success. Act as if it were impossible to fail. And when you do, something inside you shifts. Your posture changes. Your voice grows steady. Your vision becomes clear. Your energy rises. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about creating a new reality from certainty. When your mind receives a clear command, it begins to reconfigure itself. It attracts ideas, people, and opportunities. And most importantly, it destroys the poison of doubt. Here in Napoleon Inspires, we treat this as a principle of advanced autosuggestion. I don't fail. I learn. I advance. I transform. Repeat this with fire, with faith, with firmness, and you'll become mentally untouchable. Because a man who already decided to win is stronger than any temporary defeat. And yes, you will fall. Everyone falls. But your fall won't be the end. It will be the test before you rise. This is how world shapers move. Not because they have guarantees, but because they become the guarantee for their own mission. Act like you've already won, and the universe will have no choice but to open the path. You've made it this far, and that already says something powerful about you. You're not one of the ones who quit. You're one of the ones who search, one of the ones who feel they were called for something greater. But now comes the most important part. Decision. Are you going to keep allowing your mind to be programmed by fear? Or will you take control with faith, with discipline, with purpose? Because the world changes only when you change first. From today on, never act like a victim again. Act like a creator. Act like a leader. Act like an indestructible mind. Here in Napoleon Inspires, we don't believe in coincidences. We believe in conscious decisions that change destinies. And if today you decide that your mental attitude is your greatest power, then you're no longer the same person who began listening to this message. You are now an untamed mind, an unshakable spirit, an unbreakable will. And just as you declare it, so it becomes. You've walked through every idea, every truth, every revelation up to this point. And now comes the part that separates those who merely listen from those who transform. This moment, right now, is the threshold, the line between the old mind and the new one, between the man you've been and the man you've been called to become. Your mind is not the same mind that pressed play on this message. That version of you didn't know what you know now. He didn't see what you've seen. He didn't recognize the power he carried. But now you've been awakened. An awakening requires responsibility. From this moment forward, every thought you allow is either a seed of greatness or a seed of destruction. Every word you speak is either a declaration of destiny or a chain that binds your future. No one can decide for you. Not your past, not your fear, not your circumstances. You decide. This is the law. A mind aligned with faith becomes unstoppable. A mind aligned with purpose becomes magnetic. A mind aligned with discipline becomes legendary. You cannot go back to who you were. The old identity won't fit you anymore. It's too small, too fearful, too quiet for the size of the purpose inside you now. The world around you may remain the same, but you won't. And because you won't, everything will begin to shift. Opportunities will appear where before you saw only walls. People aligned with your mission will find you. Ideas will come in moments of silence, clarity, and stillness. And your own voice will grow stronger. So strong that the whispers of doubt will no longer have power over you. But here is the truth you need to hear with absolute clarity. Transformation is not a moment. It's a decision repeated every day. The world will try to pull you back. Old habits will try to reclaim you. Voices from your past will try to remind you who you used to be. But your job is simple. Don't negotiate with who you were. Walk with the identity you are becoming. From this moment on, speak differently. Move differently. Think differently. Expect differently. Dream differently. Pray differently. Act differently. Let every step you take be a message to the universe that says, I am not returning to the man I used to be. Because the man you used to be could not hold the destiny that is coming. Repeat this now, not softly, not timidly, but with the authority of someone reclaiming his throne. I choose my thoughts. I command my mind. I shape my destiny. My attitude is my power. Nothing external defines me. Nothing internal breaks me. I am the builder of my reality. Again, stronger. I am unshakable. I am focused. I am aligned with purpose. What I decide becomes my life. Your words are no longer just sounds. They're instructions to your subconscious, and your subconscious is listening. This is where your new life begins. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Now, because the universe does not respond to hesitation. It responds to decision. And you've decided. From today on, your attitude will not bend. Your courage will not shrink. Your vision will not dim. You will walk like a man who knows where he's going. You will speak like a man who carries fire in his chest. You will persist like a man who refuses to kneel to fear. The world bends to the will of the man who refuses to break. So listen closely, because these final words are not entertainment. They are a command to your future. You're not average. You're not fragile. You're not lost. You are purpose in motion. You are faith in human form. You are a creator of destiny. And as of today, as of this exact moment, your mind is untamed. Your spirit is fortified, and your will is unbreakable. Walk with this truth. You are now the kind of man who transforms the world inside him, until the world outside him has no choice but to follow. And just as you affirm it, so it becomes.